Hey everyone, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. I will be doing February journaling pages, and yes, it's almost March. The month just got away from me and I never got around to editing these videos, but I figured, you know what? I really want to share them because I use my stash and a bunch of different kits that I worked with throughout the month of February. So I'm actually starting with a stash type of layout with making my own journaling kit using Ali Edwards' Stories by the Month February. I took one of the tags and I kind of duplicated it and made it into different sizes and different colors so that way I could do a heart tag type of theme. And I started off by stamping Monday for the first, but it was a Wednesday. So thankfully I caught that mistake because I've been known to stamp the wrong date and then just not ever figure it out. So I'm glad I figured it out. And these days that I'm stamping, that's also an Ali Edwards stamp set from a really long time ago. I am just doing a design where I've kind of do the days where they're free floating. I tend to really prefer like boxes or like long vertical separation between the days, but sometimes I just want something easy where it's going to be separated by itself, just floating out there, just I guess not really separated, but you get what I'm saying. Sometimes a design like this is fun and easier to work with. So one of the tags in the Stories by the Month kit was around here, and that was kind of my inspiration. I think it's a chipboard in the physical kit, but in the digital kit, obviously it's not a chipboard. So I took that and I think the yellow tag, I think that was the one, and I was able to take a little story, Love You, and turn that into a shape that I could duplicate and then recolor. So that way I was able to use the yellows and the pinks, and it turned out really cool. I love it. And this time, instead of using clear sticker paper, I used matte sticker paper. I am still trying to figure out matte sticker paper because I feel like sometimes the colors don't come out as crisp as I want them to. So I'm kind of playing around with that because obviously in a journal like this, I would much prefer to use matte paper because then it's not as thick as like the die cuts, right? So that way when I get to the end of the year, I'll have a really thick book, but that's okay. It's a learning process, right? So my thinking for this design is a stack of tags on the bottom right where I have a lot of room, and then a smaller stack up by February. So I'm going to do like a deep pink and a light pink, and then the yellow Love You. Up in the left and over on the bottom right, I'll do the bigger tags along with some word phrase stickers or digital stamps that I printed out as stickers. I also have a ton of Stories by the Month stamps, and one of them from a few years ago was a bunch of different shaped hearts. So I'm going to use that to stamp lots of different hearts in all the different pink colors and also a yellow. It's Scattered Straw Distress Oxide ink, and I love it. It's a great yellow and definitely replaces the yellow that I'm so mad at. I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a yellow ink that I didn't realize was bleeding on everything. I don't even know what the problem with the yellow ink is, or was, I guess I should say, but I didn't catch it until much later. So there's many projects that use that particular yellow ink and it's just bleeding through everything and it's really weird. But I'm glad I got rid of that ink and now I have a new yellow ink that will hopefully not bleed and be mysterious and bleeding everywhere. Because that was so weird. Even in the Archer and Olive journals that are not supposed to bleed, it was bleeding. And it left like almost like a stain. I guess I would say a stain, not necessarily bleeding, but a stain. Okay, so back to this project. I've layered all the tags up in the left-hand side on the right, and now I'm working on the bottom right. And I take the around here and I adhere it, and then I'm able to peel back the top a little bit so that way I can put in the yellow and tuck it behind. I also took a journaling card. I think it says Whole Lot of Love, and I shrunk it down really small so it will fit into my tag shape. The digital stamps that I mentioned, I have February moments, documented, and loving. And now I am going to move on to the next spread. The next one is going to use a February kit that Mandy released called Heart Eyes, and I absolutely love the colors. I already did a video talking about this and how much I love this kit. I think it was in my agenda video. But one of the things that I really loved in this kit was the cassette tapes. I love them. And the whole color scheme around not only this kit, but just the cassette tape. It has a really fun, almost minty type of green, so I'm going with that. And again, doing kind of the floating boxes out there that I probably spent way too much time talking about with the first spread. But this is another type of design that I like to do and repeat with 2 boxes on the left, another on, not 2 boxes, but 2 days on the left, and then Wednesday kind of in the middle, and then Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. So, and then at the bottom, I'll have a huge section for clustering all kinds of die cuts. I also took one of Mandy Ford's papers that has cassettes, and I'm going to fussy cut out a bunch of those. It's on a thinner type of paper, so it's much easier to cut out. One of her 3x4 cards had the cassette in like a large shape, or large format, I guess you could say. So I'm going to fussy cut that out along with Rockstar, and then that'll be kind of my main focal die cut, along with all the other cassettes. And I also die cut a star border. The star border is part of a fussy cut sheet that she has, but I was able to turn it into a die cut and print it out so that way I did not have to fussy cut it. I am placing the cassette tapes in different spots along this spread, and I really love how it adds to the movement of the spread, and it's just a really fun spread that I'm making. That's kind of the whole point with my journaling spreads, is just to make it fun and try my best to use my supplies in a different way. And I think that not only, there's a lot of reasons that I love journaling. Even if I get behind on days, life is busy. So sometimes I'm journaling like a couple days at a time or a week. But I love how journaling allows me to use my supplies in another way, a versatile way. My scrapbooking kits for journaling, why not? Allie Edwards kits for journaling, why not? Let's try it. Let's see what happens. And I love it. It really stretches the use of them. So here's the star border that I have. I chopped it in half so that way I could put some on the right-hand side and some up in the left-hand side. That way it adds to the continuity. And I also added in a die cut word that says love. That's another fussy cut sheet that I turned into a die cut, because I also added a white stroke around it in Photoshop Elements. I think I've talked about that before in like a how-to video. Just adding that white stroke around your die cuts allows it to be one solid piece, which is awesome. And that way you don't have to glue down a bunch of separate pieces. I also grabbed Mandy Ford's stamp set from Studio Calico and stamped Good Vibes, Bright Skies, and Rise and Shine. I had thought I was going to use a pink label, but it wasn't working, and I tried a few times and then just got rid of it. So I just stamped Good Vibes and Bright Skies. And besides, I'll probably need that space down by the Friday to journal. I'm finishing this spread with some stamping of the stars with a pink lemonade ink. Pink lemonade and then this blue ink really didn't match, but I just really wanted to add some movement to the page and decided to just go ahead and use the inks. Whatever. What can I do? I don't have the inks that match, so just do the best I can and move on. So I am underlining the days, and then I'll move on to the next spread, which I'm excited to make because it uses the Document 365, and it's also the Valentine's week and my anniversary week. So it's going to be really fun to put it together. I just needed to erase a few of the pencil marks that I had made. Love this color scheme. It's so different and so fun. So a design that I use repeatedly is these square boxes. I want to say they're roughly like 3x3 boxes, and I do not have it memorized. So every month I have to count dot by dot, but It's worth it because this design is so versatile and I can use it over and over again. It winds up being 8 boxes, so one for each day, and then the leftover box I can either use for highlights during the week, favorite things during the week, a currently list, or even a creative to-do list. Whatever I want, the possibilities are endless. So I don't mind having 8 boxes. It doesn't bug me at all. So like I said, the kit is going to be Ashley's Document 365 February kit, and I love it. It's a really great color scheme, just like Mandy's, where it's different from the typical bright pinks and different shades of pinks and blacks, and so I really, really like it. My thinking is I'm going to put a variety of die cuts and stamping and clear stickers up at the top, and a little bit by Valentine's Day, and some more in the middle, and then some down at the bottom. Ashley's kits also come with days of the week. Once you die cut those, you could also fussy cut them, and it comes in a variety of the colors that are in the kit. So I am going to go ahead and use those because stamping out the days of the week is definitely the time-consuming portion of this. I have a really great sticker that I want to use that says Love Us because it was our anniversary, 15 years. So I'm going to put that up at the top since it can go right above the Thursday, the 16th. I also just got a new stamp set from Carrie Bradford called Iris, and it has these really great numbers in it along with the font set. Yeah, I'm saying that right? Stamp stamp set, whichever. It's still fantastic, and I don't know if she's restocked it, but I grabbed it and I'm so glad I splurged to get it. I'm stamping the days, and then I can start to continue to decorate. I also wanted to stamp 15 and then years, so I made sure to stamp that before I added in the rest of the die cuts and also the clear stickers. I am having to stamp the letters twice because I'm just not getting a real crisp image, and I'm starting to think my black ink is drying out. I'm not sure because that ink, I don't even know how old it is, maybe 10 years. I don't know. It's really old. Now I put down the Love Us clear sticker, and let me tell you, here's a spoiler alert. There is a little bit of ink on that Love Us clear sticker, and I'm going to absolutely destroy that sticker. I don't think I do it on camera, but I wind up using a sand eraser to try to get that ink off. And I don't know what I was thinking. I should have known better, right? It just smeared and destroyed the sticker, and it just looked terrible. So I wound up printing a new one, and I'm going to adhere it with some white paper. It doesn't match, and it kind of ruins the overall spread, at least in my opinion, but there's nothing I could do. So, but it's still going to be a pretty spread overall. I just wish I hadn't wrecked the sticker. Such a bummer. I took the XO border and split it to go all the way across the page, and I really love how that turned out because with the cluster of Happy Valentine's Day and then another one that says I love you die cut, I'm going to put that on a little bit later. It's going to go all the way across, and it's just subtle enough in the middle that it's not too much clustering in the middle. Up at the top, you can see I did some clear stickers with the flower and the heart, and then a mix of the flowers in the kit and trimmed it off. Down at the bottom, I'll have another clear sticker heart, another few flower die cuts, and then one that says made for each other. I also took another flower die cut and kind of trimmed it so that way it can go in the corner of that extra box, and then just X-Acto knifed whatever went over the edge. And then I put the love die cut document, and I just love it. Like I said, it's an extra box, but it works great for so many different reasons and so many different ways that you can use that box. So I trim off a little piece of the made for each other because I don't need it, and then I can adhere it down. Now I've added in the I love you die cut, and you can see it goes across really beautifully, all the little die cuts. So it's almost 3 different sections of die cuts, but it still has lots of room to kind of breathe, and it's not too busy of a design. There's also some tiny little heart die cuts in the kit, so I'm adding a few of those, and then I can trim off what's hanging over the edge and finish up with some heart stamping that is from the Iris stamp set. because that is another little piece that comes in the Iris stamp set from Carrie Bradford. There's a heart in there, and that's really cool. There's also a bunch of different double letters, so I love it. I just love it. I'm so glad I splurged on a Carrie Bradford stamp set. All right, there you go. That's the anniversary stamp set. Our anniversary weekly spread, and now I'm moving on to this one where I am going to kind of journal lift a layout from Nancy. I cannot say her last name, but she's amazing, and she does this design in her journal where it's basically the blocks are centered in the middle of her journal, and I kind of wrecked it, you guys. I don't know how to count, and I've said it before, but there was nothing I could do. I don't know what happened, but I wound up counting and having a total of, I think, 10 boxes? How did I get 10 boxes? I don't know. I only needed 7, right? And maybe an extra one, because I could do an extra one. But I wound up with, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 10 extra boxes. So I should have spaced it out more for the different days, but I didn't. And I also goofed on Saturday, but I stamped that on a piece of paper and called it good enough. But overall, I really like the design. I think next month, March, I'm going to try it again. I just need to make sure I count and add some more room in between the boxes so I don't wind up with 10, because I don't need 10. And then the other thing that Nancy does is she does some really awesome stamp columns on the left and the right with the extra space. So I'm going to do the same thing, but more so with the die cuts from Traci Reed's Smitten kit. I also have the paint splatters that I created in Photoshop Elements. I just took a digital shape that kind of looks like a paint splatter and changed the color to match or coordinate with the colors in the kit. So I really love how those turned out. I kind of pushed the journal aside or up a little so I could play with all the die cuts. Traci Reed's kits come with so many die cuts. So there is a lot to choose from as far as, how I want to decorate the spread. And I'm having a lot of fun picking out my die cuts and just moving them around to see what I want to use. I finally get a design that I like, and I'm going to go with a column that goes a little lower on the right-hand side and a little higher on the left-hand side. And I figured this would work because February is the month, and that's the title that's going to go on the left, so it should be a little bit higher. I also go with a tag that says I'm a sucker for you, which I really love. And then from there, I just stack up the die cuts and sprinkle in the paint splatters. Those are printed on clear sticker paper, and I'll just lift up the die cuts to fit in those spaces. On the left-hand side, I have another die cut that says So Sweet, and then another one that says Love You Forever that's kind of matted on this whitewash effect I think Traci did, which I really liked. I'm also going to fix the February. Right now it's in red ink, but I really wanted it to stand out a little more, so I'll stamp that in black ink in just a little bit. I also added a die cut to one of the extra boxes. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I think I wind up getting a Studio Calico stamp set to add a title to those. But again, I don't know what I could journal there. I'm thinking quotes I could put there, or a currently list, something like that. So on the top box, I put on my mind, and then at the bottom, I'm going to do around here. And again, I can use those lists for any kind of extra list to document the week. So it'll work out, but I am going to try to count better next month so I don't wind up with so many extra boxes. I restamped February in black, as you can see, and now it pops a little bit better. And I am stamping like little dashes. It's a piece of the stamp set from Studio Calico over on the left, and I just love the little dashes. Just adds a little pop of interest and moves your eye around the die cut spread, this whole journaling spread. So I really like how that little stamp works. So that is it for this spread, and I have one last little spread that is the 27th and the 28th. And I hadn't really picked out any stickers or journaling kits or really anything for these 2 days. So I did something kind of funny, you guys, at least to me. I went to my really old stickers and I found some stickers from Happy Planner, and I had never used them. And thinking back, this sticker pack from the Homebody sticker book, I always thought it was so random that these bright, colorful, beautiful flowers were in this sticker book but didn't really match anything else in the sticker book. I thought it was so odd. So I'm going to wind up using these colorful stickers for no other reason than why not? Let's just use them after all these years, because it's been many years. I stamped the 27 and the day using Ali Edwards stamps, and over on the right hand side will be the highlights page, so I put this month. Here's the stickers, and like you can see, they're so bright. If you ever had the Homebody kit or Homebody sticker book, it was more of like neutrals and soft colors, soft reds and greens, and so these to me never made sense, but they're finally getting a home after I don't even know how many years. So I'm just laying out a bunch of these, and in the end, even though this isn't Valentine's themed, it kind of lends itself into March, where there will be more flowers and lots of bright colors. So I'm glad that I finally used these stickers, and I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing all of these spreads come together. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye.